Another new moment. So glad to have everyone back. It has been a crazy week. I don't know what's going on where you are, but there's been a lot going on in my neck of the woods. Um, Definitely been interesting to say the least. And there's been just so much happening lately, whether it's due to COVID or work, what have you. Lots going on, but it's been fun. It's definitely been interesting. So let's get into it. I'm glad to welcome back Alexander Garcia. Good to see you,
Hello,
buddy.
everyone. Good to see you too.
How, how's it going?
Going good.
How'd everything go today?
Everything went well.
That's
I'm really
awesome.
happy. Um, yeah, as I told you, I guess I'll just let everyone know I had a date today. So,
That's
first
awesome.
time in a very long time. So, it all went well. So, I'm happy and we're going to be seeing each other again. So, I'm glad it all went. We've been talking since February. We finally met in
Very
person
cool.
today. So, yeah, I could. So, I'm pretty happy for today.
That's awesome. So tonight we're here to talk about Spider-Man No Way Home. There's no trailer yet. There was a massive plot leak. And then we're going to talk about the Venom Carnage trailer that we just got. It's almost like Sony's teasing us as much as Marvel does. They say, oh, you guys really want the Spider-Man trailer? Well, here's like a Spider-Man characters trailer. Take this. What'd you think of it?
um, To be honest, I honestly didn't know there was a new trailer for
Okay.
Venom, because I was on vacation,
Okay.
so I wasn't really on my phone that much. But wow, like, was it good?
I loved it. It was definitely up there with um, some of the other trailers that I've seen recently. It's one of those things where I'm not going to get my hopes up about it. I'm not going to say, you know what, yes, this is the end all be all. This is an amazing movie. But I was talking with someone on Instagram, and they were like, so what are your actual thoughts on it? And I let them have it. I was like, the first one like was a lukewarm reception from me. I wasn't really a huge fan of the first one, but I loved it because it's Venom, and Venom's my guy. Like, he's one of those characters that I absolutely enjoy. And Tom Hardy's another is an actor who just pretty much nails everything that he's in. So with all that said, I loved it. I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. I thought that it left some to be desired. It was like, okay, I'm excited that this kind of is coming out. I'm excited that there is this amazing Venom 2 Carnage versus Venom movie. And I'm really hoping that they don't just use Carnage as a one-off character, that it's going to be something bigger, something more than any of that. So for those of you, and including Alex, who have not seen the trailer, we're going to go ahead and watch it right now.
Oh, okay. I was actually playing it on my phone. The captions on. Yeah, I'm hoping that Carnage, like even from the first trailer, I'm hoping that he's
Yeah.
not a one-off character. I hope they don't kill him off, because I honestly, like, I love Venom too. I always thought he was like a really badass character, and I loved him. And I always thought Carnage too was a cool character, and
Yeah.
so I just hope that they don't kill him off, because I'll be very disappointed if they do that, because I want to see how this movie goes and how everything else progresses.
100%.
Yeah.
So before we do take a look at it, it actually kind of starts off with a little starter piece almost. It's kind of like giving us a little hint at it, where it actually says, like, it actually like gives us a little bit more of the trailer than just the beginning of it, which is actually, it's interesting because most trailers like start with a title screen or start with something that isn't further along in the trailer. But let's get started on this.
All I ever wanted in this world is carnage.
Oh, that's cool.
Lady here. You should be out there snacking on bad guys. I am a predator. I need to be free.
You have got to get control of your aggression, or you will get hauled off into Area 51. You live in my body. You live by my rules.
I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. Please let me fix it so I can play it again. You are a loser. Eddie Brock, I want to give you my story. People love serial killers. Please, why me? What's mine is yours, and what's yours is mine. I have tasted blood before, and that is not it. All I ever wanted in this world is carnage. I'm a crazy man. Are you a vengeful one? Oh, shit! Whoa, where you going? That is a red one! You need to come out right now. I will let you eat everybody! I promise! I promise! Oh, yeah! Betty, you feel like home to me. Like family. Oh, wow.
You could just say, I'm happy for you.
That was going to be us.
Yeah, I'm happy for you.
No!
God, I'm so sorry.
Not sorry.
This two needs some serious couples counseling.
All right. So, first thoughts. What did you think? Oh, you're muted, buddy.
Oh, here we go. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I thought I muted myself. Oh, thank you, Kurt. I just saw your comment. Honestly, wow. I loved how they showed more of Carnage. I honestly love the way they yeah, I guess like animated him.
Yeah.
How they present him in the trailer. I honestly like, wow, that is awesome. Because I guess like with everything, like with how he looks, like it could have been easily messed up.
For sure.
I like the color. I like how they went with a darker red. Because I know like in the comics, like he's bright red, kind of.
Yeah.
But I like how they went with a darker red. But I think that really portrays him really well because he is a dark character. I don't know if that was a creative choice or not. But I like it. I like the music choice. The music choice. I know for something with me, with trailers, I focus on music too. I like the music choice of that. The song is really good.
Yeah, the
And-
song gets me every time. It's like, okay, interesting that they played One Is the Loneliest Number.
Yeah, maybe just they're talking about him.
Yeah.
Cletus Cassidy, and maybe who knows? Maybe they're also talking about Eddie. Maybe that song is for
True.
both of them. But I also like how they're keeping the humor in it.
Yeah.
Like it's not so dark, and it's not like forced humor.
Yeah.
Like I like how it's like especially and that got me. It's like I'll let you eat anybody you want. Like okay, like oh yeah, just jumps out. And I love how like they make Carnage have personalities. Like he's like oh shit. Like I would have the same reaction too if I saw Carnage. And I like how they showed it like in the church scene. the chapel scene with the
Yeah,
mosaic. I
that's one of my
remember.
favorite images.
Yeah, I remember when I first saw the trailer, like, oh my god, this is so cool because I actually have a Venom variant cover of that, the exact replica, and it's
I
really
think it's a
cool.
callback to that cover, actually.
Yeah, hold on, let me get it. But
Okay.
Vinkert, I would love to hear. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I would love to hear your opinion.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of right along with yours. It seems like there's a lot of action. I do enjoy the comedy aspect of it. I don't know. I think it's going to be pretty cool. I haven't seen any of the other movies. Venom. I'm looking forward to it. I haven't watched too many of those Marvel movies beforehand. But now that I'm in the comics, I feel like I got to keep up with this stuff. So that way I can add something to the conversation. But yeah, I liked it as well. I didn't know that character was playing Carnage. I forget the guy's name, but he's definitely
Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson. That's right.
Yep.
You know, he's a cool dude too. So,
Yeah.
and I do like that the symbiote talks to Brock there. So it seems interesting to me. I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, like I was saying, the first Venom movie, as a Venom fan, I mean, he's one of my all-time favorite characters. I've got Venom everything. I know people have a lot more Venom than I do, but
Yeah.
like I've got Pops of Venom. I've got Venomized Pops. I've got Rocket Raccoon as Venom. Like, there's different things out there. Some of my biggest slabs are Venom slabs.
Okay.
And when I saw the first Venom movie, the biggest thing that I hated about it was that they didn't do a true origin story. And
Okay.
now with the multiverse, we can kind of say, okay, well, this is what Venom would have been if, let's say, Spider-Man didn't bring back the symbiote. If Spider-Man doesn't bring it back, how would Venom have gotten here?
Mhm.
And that's where I kind of said, okay, now I can kind of see Venom is its own movie. It's its own thing. It's outside of the MCU technically, but it could easily be brought in with the multiverse. And there were just pieces about the Venom movie that was like, you wanted it to be better. It felt rushed a little bit. Like they wanted to get this movie out and that it was a fan service to get this movie out quickly. But at the same time, I don't think fans would have hated if we had to wait 2, 3, even 5 more years to get a true Venom movie. And my biggest hope with this movie is that it kind of fixes all the stuff that went wrong with the first one and then goes above and beyond that and starts to really dive in. The thing I didn't like about this trailer was the ending. I felt that just wasn't needed. Like, oh, those two need couples counseling. Like, okay, yeah, Eddie and Venom, of course they need couples counseling. What I love, though, is that we're kind of seeing Venom go from this true villain to an anti-hero in the first movie, and now going on the anti-hero journey to where we could eventually see him in the MCU or just in his own Venom verse as a hero, which is basically what he's done in the comics. And like Alex said, the humor in it's funny. It's not forced. The let me fix your nose so I can break it again is hilarious. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I found the comment.
That's awesome.
That is sweet.
This is the one the mosaic and everything. I know it has Noah in the background, but behind it was like, it reminds me of that.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. I remember first seeing the show, I was like, oh my god, I have a cover like that. But yeah, like I remember, like I remember. I agree with you about the first movie. Yeah, like it did feel like I enjoyed it. I feel like there's some things that could have been worked out a little bit more. Could have been like it did feel rushed. There was a little bit more storyline.
Yeah.
I think they did it as like a prototype, like see if this would work. Like,
I see what you mean.
would this movie work? Just like I think with Deadpool 2, like TOO with Deadpool, there's like a prototype to see how our audience will be like a horror movie of this caliber. So I think like Sony was trying to go that well. But
Yeah.
overall, I think they executed it really well. Like, yes, it could have been better, but again, like it could have been much worse. Like, I'm glad it wasn't in the much worse spectrum. So I'm hoping that this movie, like, seems like the kind of like with this new trailer and stuff, they're kind of like doing a little bit more. Like they know what they need to fix on it, and they found like, okay, the movie was a success. Now let's delve into something deeper, probably a little bit more. And I feel like there's gonna be more storyline, which I personally like. I like storyline. Like I'm all for action and stuff, but I prefer like action and storyline. So I kind of get a sense that this is where it's gonna go: storyline and action. And then
Yeah,
I
I
hope
found
we
it
get like
weird.
backstory in Cletus Cassidy.
I found it weird that Cletus right from the beginning says, "I like you are me and I am you, and I know you and you know me." Like,
Yeah.
how does Cletus feel that he knows Eddie so well?
Oh, when I got that, I kind of thought like maybe it's a symbiote because
Yeah.
he has one as like he probably. I think he means it like we both have something inside of us. Like maybe the symbiotes could feel each other. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just sense each other. I think that's what he meant.
Okay.
Because obviously, I don't think he really knows him unless who knows he's been stalking Eddie and we don't know.
I mean, he's a very famous, well, not very famous, but he's a famous local Daily Bugle writer. So for him to be known kind of through his newspaper writing and whatnot would make sense. I mean, that
Yeah.
might be where he's kind of getting a start. And we do
Right.
see him in the trailer have some papers that were drawn up by Cletus Cassidy, and Eddie's working on a article. So, I mean, that's where it could be, or like you said, I mean, it could just be that he already had the symbiote and they could sense each other, because he does also say, even before he bites him, that he wasn't really like anyone else, which is interesting. Could he know, if he doesn't have the symbiote in him yet, that Eddie already has the symbiote? Like,
Yeah.
how would he know that? I guess is what I'm asking.
I don't think they gave us enough to really figure that out. That's the part you have to watch and kind of see what leads you into that direction.
Yeah.
And I hope they explain it because it would be kind of like a why moment. If
Right.
like we're having this conversation that's never addressed in the movie.
That's what you said.
Inside the
But
mind of a
anyways.
serial killer.
Mm-hmm.
So, Riker, how long have you been into comics for? It seems like you just said you're newer to comics.
Yeah, so it's only been about a year.
Okay.
I would say the summer of last year, around August, September. So not that long at all.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm very new, and what makes it hard? Somebody brought this idea up to me is it's hard to understand the whole Marvel universe from before and all the things that take place and to speculate nowadays, and the Scarlet Witch and everybody else that with Kang right now, people are speculating on what's going to happen with him. I don't know that history at all, so it's hard for me to, I guess, add any value to any conversation that involves that, because there's so much stuff that had happened before I got into it that I don't know who did what to what or to who, or anything along those lines. I'm obviously learning as I go, but it's easier for me to understand what's going on now or in the past year because I've been catching up on all that stuff. But
yeah,
I'm pretty fairly new.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
I actually started getting into comic books again because I was into them when I was a lot younger. I'm actually newer than you because I started doing this again in November
Okay.
of last year.
I don't feel so bad.
Yeah, I shouldn't. Yeah, but I know what you mean with all these specs and everything. Like, to be honest, I didn't know what spec meant until like few months ago. They're like, why do people keep saying spec, spec, spec? Like, oh,
Yeah.
like that's when like I will admit like a couple months ago, I barely found out what bin meant. I thought bin bin was like, oh, just bin it, like you put it in a bin,
Yeah.
but it means buy it now. I remember I had that. I remember like thinking that I put it in the auction, and everyone was like, "Really?" It's like, "Yeah." Like I didn't know. So paying into it, like, and everything like going on, like I don't know how to like do like a spec. Like, how do I
Yeah.
speculate on something?
Yeah.
One of the biggest things that I had no idea until probably a couple months ago was an AOK, a
Me
mystery
neither.
box. It's an AOK. I'm like, the hell's an AOK? What do you like? I keep seeing all these videos say AOK
Yeah.
mystery box, and I was like, okay, I want to find out what this is. So I actually started looking up online. I was like, AOK mystery boxes, like, who makes these? Because all the books in them were amazing as I'm watching these videos. And then someone goes, that means acts of kindness. It's just someone that sent a mystery box to someone else because they like their content or whatever. It's like fan mail, but in a newer way. And I was like, oh my God, that totally makes sense. Because
Yeah.
this one guy got an AOK that had a bunch of silver and bronze age stuff, and this guy's got all independence, and over here he's got that. Like, I had no idea for the longest time, and as
Same.
soon as someone said, I was like, that makes total sense.
Yeah, same. I was for a long time. I was like, "What's an AOK?" Like, I
Yeah.
really wanted to know. Like, and I won't make because I was so new. I was kind of embarrassed, not embarrassed, but kind of scared to ask.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was
Hey, what's
too.
an AOK?
Yeah.
And so I looked it up. Like, what does AOK mean in the comic book community?
Yeah.
I literally that's exactly word for word what I typed into Google. It didn't my help, but it just said active kindness. Like, oh my god, that makes so much sense.
I was actually in a live chat on someone else's video a couple months ago, and I just said, or someone commented, "What's an AOK?" And I literally commented and said, "I've been afraid to ask that for 3 months now. Please, someone answer this."
I believe it. When I started out, the one that I couldn't figure out was LCS. No idea what that meant for the longest time.
Like, is it a new drug?
Yeah. It was crazy.
Yeah, luckily somebody from me LCS. That didn't take me that long because somebody said LCS and in parentheses local comic shop. I was like, oh, okay, thank God.
Yeah.
Someone. And all these acronyms, it was just like, oh my God.
Yep.
Like honestly, thought, yeah, it was
Yeah.
funny.
It's crazy.
Yeah, most recently, I would say FOC. I had no idea what that meant either.
What's FOC?
Final order cutoff.
Huh?
Oh,
Final order cutoff.
Oh, I never heard that
I've never
one
even
before.
heard that one before.
Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's when it's the last week or day when you have to have your order in for a couple weeks in advance. So
Oh,
So, what do you put in your pull box?
pretty much everything.
Overside.
What's up, hoarders?
Oh, same old, same old.
Going on.
Listening to you guys.
Good to see
When
you.
did you find out what an AOK meant?
I just lucky guess. The first time I heard it, I kind of understood what people were talking about, and it just made sense. So, yeah, it took me a little bit to learn FOC though.
I never heard
I used to
FOC.
order direct from Diamond, and I still didn't know what it meant.
See? I only figured that one out a couple weeks ago.
It wasn't until I got into comic book collecting and like I didn't know there was new day for new comic books. It was just like new comic book days. Oh, is that a special event like free comic book day? It's like no, it's like every week. Like oh, and it wasn't until I started watching videos from like Titan Comics. Have you heard of him? Titan Comics Pressing.
I've never heard of him.
Oh, he's really cool. He does a lot of boxing. He does pressing. Anyway, it wasn't until I started watching his channel like every week. It's like new comic book days. Like, oh, is it every Wednesday? And that's one of my friends like, wait, is new comic book day every Wednesday? Like, yeah. I was like, oh.
That makes sense.
So it's not a special day? Well, I guess it is special, but that was like a year, like once in a once in a year thing. So
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty. I kind of laughed at myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, free comic book days coming up.
Oh no, I'm so happy. It's next week.
I'm gonna be on vacation.
Oh.
Oh,
You always got to find a good local comic shop when you're on vacation, though. It's always
Yeah.
fun to see what
Also-
other comic shops you like.
yeah. As long as it's not too far out of the way.
Yeah.
Maybe because it's a package travel deal, so we're getting on this bus. It's like a bus tour. So there's
Oh,
an
nice.
itinerary. Yeah, it is pretty nice.
Just pay the bus driver. Yo, go to this comic book shop.
Yeah,
We'll
pay-
find a new site on the way. Who cares? Who knows? There might be comic people there on the bus too with you.
yeah, you never know. It's either gonna be that or a bus full of old people.
So, when you first started collecting, did you like realize that there were a lot of people that you knew that were into collecting that you had no idea collected comics?
Absolutely not.
No?
It was
Okay.
the opposite. You know, as I got into it and started figuring out who was into it, there's really nobody that I know that's into it.
Okay.
Yeah, like absolutely nobody. So I guess that's why I'm on here so much and on Instagram, because I have nobody else to talk to other than everybody else I connected with.
Yeah, I hear that
Yeah.
a lot from people.
Same.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that I think in my family, even my extended family, except for my uncle, on my mom's brother,
Okay.
and my dad when he was younger, collected comics. like my uncle Thela, he would collect all these old school Daredevil comics. And my dad, when he was younger, he had a whole box of comics of like old Moon Knight comics. He got #1. I think he had the whole series. And Black Panther too. And sadly, his grandma thought they were trash. He had them in the box.
Mm,
She threw them away.
yeah.
I remember my dad saying like he was so upset, and now he's thinking about it like now like those are worth a lot of money.
That's almost as bad as so my dad and my uncle were huge into collecting, and I had no idea that my uncle still had a bunch of comics because my dad had none. And he said I used to collect comics every day, like we would go here and collect books and just read them and whatnot. And I mean, they were like magazines back in the day. That's why there were a lot of comics that just are in crappy shape that were mint comics, like they were first appearances and stuff. And he was telling me about how when he went off to college, my uncle, his brother, actually sold most of the comics that were worth something. So he had Amazing Spider-Man 300 and sold it well before it ever got big, and sold it raw because there was no grading back then that they knew about. And that was that.
Yeah. Jeez.
Wow. What about you, hoarders?
What about what?
Do you have any stories of family members throwing out comics or selling comics?
I threw out my own. I literally threw them in the burning barrel probably once, I don't know, maybe 12 or 13. It wasn't that many, maybe $100. And I don't think there were any mega keys in it. It would have been late 70s, early 80s. Hulk,
Okay.
Spider-Man. I mean, so there's still, maybe $20 books now.
Yeah.
It might have been $500 or $1,000 worth of books today, but it's not like I threw away Hulk 181 or anything.
That makes it hurt a little less.
A little less, yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't. There's only maybe 3 issues that I actually remember out of that what I threw away, and I've gotten those back. But, the rest of them, I just know they were Hulk runs and Spectacular Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man from that time period.
Yeah.
And a few Conans.
Okay.
Nice.
So, Alex, you were talking about New Comic Book Day. Did you ever see these covers?
Oh yeah, I saw those covers. I remember seeing one that was purple.
Yeah. there was a purple one. Each one had like its own style. It had its own little logo, but they all said on sale Wednesday, and it was just a huge stab in the back. Well, not really stab in the back, but kind of just like punch in the gut to DC when they decided to break off from Diamond and start releasing and being the only one to release their comics on Tuesdays. And I remember like the drama that was surrounding it. My local comic shop really didn't know what he was going to do. So this is the shop that I go to, Rhino's Comics, right here in Rochester. And he's like, I don't open up on Tuesdays. Tuesdays are my day to get the books on the shelves, to get everything in pull boxes. I don't open. So he basically said there's no point for me to get a huge shipment of Marvel and Image and Boom and have them up on the shelves and not allow any of my customers to touch them. Like, that's just not good business to say, oh, you can take these ones, but you can't take these ones yet.
Right.
And it's kind of like, you also don't want people to see how the sausage gets made. You don't want them to see, okay, I'm taking these off the shelves, I'm putting in pull boxes, and then people are going, oh, I want that book and I want that book, as he's trying to do his job in the back too. So there was a lot going on with it. And I remember how much was happening, because obviously the pandemic was in full swing last year and seems to be kind of ramping up again. But it's definitely interesting how it all kind of shook out with Diamond and DC. And then that Marvel had to make those covers.
Yeah, I always thought those covers looked nice. I was so close to getting the purple one, but I think this is when I was still new. When I started again, like, do I really want it? But I thought it was nice. It was a nice purple color. I was like, I didn't end up getting it. I wish I did.
I thought about getting all of them just to have a collection and put them all like in a frame or something. I was like, I can't justify picking up a book I'm never going to read just for the cover. And it was kind of silly.
If I lived by that, I'd have about 14,000 less books probably.
Got that right.
Yeah, I try not to buy just because the covers, because I realize it could get expensive. Comics. So I try to limit the cover. And the only time I do that is with Alien, the new Alien series, because I love Alien. And the covers are absolutely phenomenal.
Those covers were good.
Even the new variants, and I was like, yes. Like, it was the first time ever, like, I spent, like, not even on an auction, $24 for a book. I was on, like, the third Alien #3 cover, and for me, I thought it was worth it. Well, I still think it's worth it, because the cover was phenomenal. But other than that, I try to limit myself, because I feel like I'll get carried away if I see, oh, this is a cool cover.
For sure.
Although you do find some good stories just by doing cover buys.
Oh, 100%.
I got onto a lot of series back in the day from cover buys.
Yeah, same. I bought, I forgot what I bought. Oh, like this comic book Steampunk Van Helsing. I bought it because of the cover. I thought it was really cool. I never even heard of it before, and I like the story.
Yeah. So, and going back to like when I first got into comics, it was definitely kind of slow finding people near me who enjoyed them too. But then, so I want to say right around August or September, I introduced one of my buddies to comics. I was like, dude, these are just amazing comics. They're doing really well. I can't wait to see like how the first appearance of Black Winter does. How my first appearance of Nova does when he gets put in the MCU. I've got an 8.0 copy that I'm just in love with. It was my very first CGC book. And he was like, these books like have amazing art in them and they're good to read and all that. Like, I guess his dad had collected years ago, so he started collecting. And then my buddy who lives next door to me, we were talking comics one time, and he goes, "Yeah, I used to have like the first appearance of Superboy. I had a whole, almost a full run of the original Superboy comics that I sold off when I was younger and just didn't have the money anymore. So that was a quick way to make a quick buck." And then he basically was like, "How could I get back into this?" So I brought him to my local comic shop, and him and Chet just started talking, the owner of the shop and him. And by the time they were done talking, he had bought over $400 in comics, pops, boxes, everything. And then he just kept coming back each week, and he started looking at what he needed and whatnot. And within 4 weeks of starting collecting, he had a full run of Rick and Morty, from the very first Rick and Morty all the way through, with lenticular covers, with a bunch of different stuff. He actually has a Rick and Morty pinball machine, the only one that's ever been made.
Oh shit.
I think he said there's like 3,000 of them in production, and he bought it before the pandemic and got it right at the beginning of the pandemic.
Wow.
And he was like, "Okay, this is amazing. Now I want to display the comics." I didn't even know they had Rick and Morty comics. So he went from Rick and Morty to Invader Zim, to a bunch of other just like random comics that were comics and TV shows. And he went from having almost no comics, or having no comics at all, to then having 5 long boxes or 5 short boxes. And then he started realizing that he could just collect random covers of CGC 9.8s on eBay if he waited until they got to the very end of the auction and they were under $20. And he goes, "I never spend more than $25 on a slab without shipping." And he would just bid on them and just say, "I like this cover, I'm going to bid on it." And he got cover after cover, book after book, all CGC 9.8s, for anywhere between $15 and $25 to $30. It was crazy. Finally, his wife was like, "We got to stop for a minute."
Is he married?
Yeah, right.
His wife must be like, she probably calls you like, "Thank you, Chris."
Oh, she did. She's like, "Why did you do this to me?" I'm like, "I didn't think that he was going to get involved that much."
We were saving up for Hawaii. You know what we did? We went to a comic book shop.
He could probably go to Hawaii and buy all those comics and not have a problem.
You probably go to a comic. You probably pick a hotel near a comic book shop in Hawaii.
Yeah. Hey, if you ever go to New York City, you got to go to Forbidden Planet. They're in Midtown.
I know they look so cool. I remember looking it up for you, like in London, when you're going through your Spiderman collection. You're asking them, "Where is this?" Like, I looked it up. Oh wait, it's in Dublin.
Yeah, that's when my uncle was collecting. He was actually part of the Air Force overseas, and he was stationed in London for quite some time. And it was actually kind of cool because like the comics said 50p on them, and you knew that they were from London, but they were American copies. It was kind of interesting.
That was pretty cool.
It looks like Forbidden Planet looks like an amazing comic shop. Just from the pictures I was looking at, it's like, damn.
Yeah, that's actually where I got my start in collecting. My wife and I went there, and right before we got engaged, we went to New York City to hang out and just kind of travel around for that summer. That was our trip that summer, and we were looking at comic book shops. We had just went to our local comic book shop for the first time a few weeks before, and we were doing an Airbnb, and I just said to her, I was like, "Hey, where's a good place to go look at comics and get some comics?" We ended up spending $100 there in probably the 4 hours that we spent walking around that shop. And it was amazing. I bought my very first Moon Knight book there, which I'm actually rereading the Moon Knight #1 that just came out recently.
Thanks.
And then this was a cover buy.
Oh yeah, that is a really nice character.
Absolutely.
Did you propose
But
to
yeah,
her in the
Your friend
comic
never
shop?
decided to go after those Superboy books that he had gotten rid of.
no, he never went after the Superboy books. He wasn't a huge fan of them as an adult. He was kind of like, okay, I got rid of them. I got rid of them. Yeah, whatever. If he did go after them, he probably would be not going to Hawaii.
So Chris, did you propose to your wife at a comic book shop?
No,
Like,
I
hey
did
honey,
not. I
look at this
actually,
comic. Open this comic book up. I think you really like it. It comes with a free
no, she
gift.
probably would have killed me. I proposed to her on a dock in Rhode Island, where
Oh.
her and her friends took their very first picture they ever went there together.
Oh,
So I was like, yeah, it was kind of cool.
that's cool.
But anyways, Spider-Man No Way Home. What do you guys think of all these villains and stuff? And like everything that's been talked about with it.
Yeah, I heard that there's a lot of villains. I just hope that it's not rushed if they're gonna have all these characters. That's why I feel like, okay, like there's a lot of more characters than I originally thought. I just hope they do a good job. I hope they manage their time well in terms of telling the story
Yeah,
and
that's
everything.
a lot of people to fit into a 2-hour.
Yeah, I like if they're gonna do
long
this.
it ends up being.
Yeah, like at least split it up into 2 parts if you're gonna make this a a big movie. I think that's what would do it justice if it's like a 2-parter. But yeah, I think it's pretty. I think it's cool that they're bringing back Doctor Octopus, the from the Sam Raimi universe. I liked him. He's a good actor. I think he's a really good actor. Yeah.
So if the plot leak is true, they are bringing back Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin,
Oh, God,
which I'm
yes.
hoping they kind of make that Green Goblin a little bit less futuristic, I guess is the best way to put it, more comic book like. They're bringing him back. They're bringing back Doc Ock from the Raimi universe. Then they're going to bring back Electro. And I've heard Rhino. I'd also kind of like to see Kurt Connors too. I feel like that would be kind of cool to see him again. And then obviously you have Vulture and Mysterio. So there's a bunch of different ones, but then there's also talk that they're going to bring back Sandman, and that Sandman is actually going to play a pretty interesting role in this. If the plot leak is true, he is going to be recruited for the Sinister Six, and then Osborn is going to go against him, and that's when they're going to pull, I think it was Electro into the Sinister Six. And the whole movie kind of ends with the 3 Spider-Men fighting the Sinister Six, which if they can pull it off, which I mean, I hope they can. I've been a huge fan of what they've done with Spider-Man recently. So I'm hoping that it just kind of continues to roll that way. When they pull it off, I would love to see a Sinister Six spinoff movie. I really don't want them to kill it off immediately.
And if so, would you rather have it produced by Marvel or Sony?
Oh, Marvel all day. I can't say I don't like what Sony's been doing, but like I said with the first Venom movie, I feel like it's just rushed. There's something about it. There's something about the movies that Sony has done without Marvel's help in the past few years that it's almost like we're getting these movies that aren't all there. Like they're trying to just push out content to keep fans happy, but it's like to keep us happy, just stick with Marvel. Stop giving us all this drama of, is Spider-Man going to be a part of this? Is he going to be a part of that? I can't deal with it. I'm tired of dealing with it.
Just let Spider-Man choose his own side.
Yeah.
It feels like a custody dispute. He goes, where's he
Yeah.
going to spend the holidays? I know that's messed up. You joke about, but it feels a little that way.
No, for
Like
sure.
we're all known. He's all known.
And I mean, I don't think Marvel ever would have known in the late 90s that if they gave up Spider-Man, it would be so hard to get him back.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they sold him for pennies on the dollar compared to what the movie rights are worth now.
They're probably like kicking themselves.
Oh, yeah.
We shouldn't have sold him.
I have heard, so when Far From Home came out and all that drama happened between Sony and Marvel, where they basically said, forget it, you're done with this, you're not making any more movies, the deal's off, blah, blah, blah. I did see that there's been talks between Disney and the prospective buyers of Sony Pictures, which at the time was Apple, Amazon, and Netflix, or someone who did movies. I don't think it actually was Netflix, but it was someone like that. And all Disney would have to do is say, hey, we'll give you this tiny amount of money to help this deal go through. Whatever you need, we'll help with. And as soon as Sony was no longer in the picture, the rights would immediately go back to Marvel, pretty much free of charge. And that would have been the quickest and cleanest way to do it. But of course, that didn't end up happening.
Wow.
Personally, I'm a little excited for Mobius. I'm hoping to see something cool kind of come out of that, or Morbius. That looks like a cool movie. I don't know when that's supposed to come out now that the pandemic's pushed everything back, but
I mean, I think it's been finished for over a year.
I
yeah,
haven't heard anything else like the release date or anything.
yeah, they did the trailer and then just kind of let it be.
Yeah, I was excited for that. I was like, oh, sweet. I always thought Morbius was a cool character.
Yeah.
Not knowing with much of him, but seeing that movie trailer, I was like, oh, like this seems interesting. I want to see it. And boom, COVID hit.
Yeah.
I was like, dang it. Maybe it's because it's out of bat.
Maybe. I'm hoping for good news only out of all of this.
Oh, quick question. Has anyone seen Suicide Squad yet?
I have not.
What's the movie?
The
Suicide Squad?
Oh no,
came
not
out
yet.
today.
Nope,
Yeah.
I've heard decent things about it though.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it tonight.
I'm
I was
actually
planning to
going to
watch
go to
it.
the theater and see it tomorrow.
Nice.
I was planning to watch it earlier today, but I took a nap.
Priorities.
Yeah, then I had a date.
I don't know where. I know that Alex, you're from California, and I don't know where you guys are from, but I was sitting in, where was that?
Pennsylvania.
So you probably know
Ohio.
Wegmans.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah.
Where Hershey World is. Woo.
So I'm sitting in Wegmans and I'm watching the Olympics as I'm eating my lunch during work, and all of a sudden, Suicide Squad trailer comes on the TV and it says now in theaters from the director of Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm like, hold on a second. A DC movie has to say our director was a Marvel director who nailed a movie with Guardians. In order for you guys to sell this movie, that's a problem.
Wait, what's the restaurant you were in? What was it called?
So Wegmans is a supermarket. And
supermarket.
yeah, it all started here in Rochester and then just kind of expanded from there. It's made its way down to the Carolinas, Pennsylvania. I think it's in Massachusetts. I want to say it's in Ohio, but it might not be. But it's all over the place now. It's crazy how far they've gotten in the past 20 years. But yeah, it was just, it's one of those things where it's like, until you walk into a Wegmans, you're kind of like, I didn't know that a supermarket could be this interesting. I remember my buddy who grew up in New York City, where all they have is like bodegas and stuff.
Oh my god, it looks interesting. I just saw like pictures.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of like a Whole Foods or taqueria.
Yep. My buddy from New
Oh my
York
God,
City,
that's
who I went to college with, when I came home to Rochester, he came with me one time, and he said, "You keep talking about Wegmans. Let's go to Wegmans. I want to see what this is all about." And we walk in, and he sees the bulk candy section, where it's just like all candy, where you can just pick it up and put it in a bag. I want to say he spent like $50 on bulk candy, and he was literally a kid in the candy shop. It was so funny to watch, because he'd never seen that before.
Yeah, just looking at the pictures looks fancy.
Yeah,
It's like a mall.
they're huge.
I want to go. Yeah, I saw another picture of it. Like the outside is like, this is a mall or is this a shopping a shopping place? I actually just want to go.
The one in Pittsford, New York, is absolutely ginormous. It's got like 3 restaurants in it, and they're all like local restaurants. They're all owned by Danny Wegman. So it's crazy. It's
the photo I have like up. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh yeah, there you can.
Like, this is huge. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, damn. Like, I want to buy a ticket and just. That'll be my vacation. Just see the spectacle.
Visiting the Wegmans.
So what did you do on vacation? I went to Wegmans.
You don't want to go home.
Different areas of the store.
But yeah, now that we're completely off topic talking about supermarkets.
Well, I bet they sell comics in there.
Oh my god.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
It's like in a hidden section of the store. The comic book area.
Yeah.
I think Chris would never leave the store.
Whenever I go to a new Wegmans, I look to see if they have those little like 5-packs of comics.
I remember Walmart used to do that when I was a kid. They used to sell like comic books. I knew as a kid I was thinking like, my mom asked me, "Is like, do you want one?" It's like, and I thought no. Thinking about it now as I'm older, like, I probably should have gone in that. Like, it would have been probably interesting comics.
Yeah. This is the outside of the Pittsford Wegmans. So they have a food bar that's 2 stories tall, a market cafe that's just this portion, and then like you can't even see the rest of it over here. It's insane.
Wow.
It makes sense that they're over there in your area because they have the land. I can't imagine seeing one of these in California unless it's somewhere up where I am, where it's cow country. There's a lot of land. That's what I call it because there's a lot of cows. Where there's actually land for this, because right now California, the bigger cities are all like taking up the land.
Oh, for sure.
Smaller cities that actually have land, they're not well known and people won't go. So it makes sense, like over there. Now thinking about it, how big these are, like, man, the closest thing we could get something like that is like a Whole Foods or IKEA. Something like that big.
Hey, don't think that we're small. We were in Amazing Spider-Man 2. That police chase scene was part of Rochester. Yeah. Wow. It was actually really cool.
Were you there?
One of the guys,
did you see it film?
I didn't. I was actually at college when they filmed it.
You could have been an extra in the background, like.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the guys who goes to my local comic shop, there was something that fell off a police car during the chase and like fell underneath a car that was parked on the side of the road. And he was just walking by after they were done filming and everyone had kind of picked up and went home. And he just picked it up and brought it home. He goes, "No one's going to pick it up. I'll pick it up. Can't verify that it was part of the movie, but hey, whatever."
Just have it flamed.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
So what's everyone excited to read coming up? What are you guys looking forward to?
This week or next week?
What did you pick up this week that you haven't read yet, or what are you looking forward to next week? Whichever.
I haven't read anything yet that I picked up. I've just been busy with work and making YouTube videos and chatting everybody back and cooking dinner, doing stuff around the house. The weekends are usually my time to sit down and read while everyone is asleep. But I'm looking forward to The Me You Love in the Dark, We Don't Kill Spiders, Nice House on the Lake. I'm kind of into those horror mystery ones right now. So,
Have you read Bunny Mask?
yes, I have. Yeah, that one's good too. Absolutely. I just can't quite figure out.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Okay. I just can't figure out what she is yet. You know, in the first one, she's like kind of good, and the next one, she does kill people, or whether she just kills bad people. You know, that's what I'm kind of figuring out yet.
Yeah, I'm excited to be reading Stray Dogs because I just got all the copies in.
Oh, okay.
I was late. I was late on that bandwagon.
Yeah.
I'm excited to like to read Stray Dogs. Like, ooh, this seems interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Probably going to read it next to my puppy. Have her sit next to me. Is like, okay, let's read this together. and I'm also looking forward to reading the Nice House on the Lake.
What do you guys think of Nice House on the Lake? Because I've heard it's like a horror mystery, but it's one of those comics that, even though it is a horror book, it doesn't always feel like a horror book. It's kind of interesting, and it's almost more like a thriller where you got to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, it feels that way. I didn't want to get the horror aspect.
Yeah,
I must say there was a lot of reading to do in that one. Well, the first comic, not like a lot of reading, but there's a lot of stuff like to read and stuff, which I appreciated.
Yeah.
Like it's not just all storyline. There's like pieces of like email or Twitter post. I thought that was really cool. Like it gives you a sense of what everyone's like thinking. Yeah, it feels like a thriller more like a thriller than a horror, personally for me. What are your thoughts, Weikert?
I'd have to agree. I kind of feel like with the second one, they're just stringing you along a little bit, giving you only just a little bit of information, and it just seems like they're kind of waiting to really hit you with what's going on.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, so far there's really no horror to it. I would say thriller is a good way to put it, because only that one girl died, right?
I think so.
Yeah, the guy just killed her. I forget what for reason, but
yeah, he just kills her. I think there was no reason.
Yeah,
He was like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Just kind of poof, and it kind of startles everybody else that they better listen to what he has going on. But
even I thought it was like,
yeah,
I was like, why? like I understand people kill for no reason. I'm sorry, Grateful Comics. It was him. He said it, not me.
It's on my list. I haven't read it yet.
I just looked up. Looks like Gleason.
I am picking him up though.
Oh.
Yeah.
Looks like Patrick Gleason is coming out with another Venom. It looks like he's going to do the same thing with the Amazing Spider-Man. Oh, let me lower my thing. It's the blue Venom.
Oh, yeah.
Second print.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to do the same thing. Maybe the third one's going to be red. Because I know the third one from Amazing Spider-Man was blue.
Yeah. I was so pissed when I found out there was a 1 in 50 variant of that I never picked up.
Is that the Virgin cover?
No, it's a white cover with black writing.
Oh.
Or with black. It's basically the opposite of the first cover. It's like a negative. It's so cool.
Oh, that's so cool. Man, I totally forgot. Like, I was so mad I didn't get the Amazing Spider-Man 50 blue cover. I didn't know they were coming out with the third printing. I was so mad I didn't get it.
It's really cool how they did that. I
gotta look that up. The negative cover.
I'm a huge fan of Gleason's artwork, and ever since he started doing those spider covers, like they were just so perfect. I'm doing a video soon of what I'm sending off to CGC, and I've been meaning to make it, but I keep getting books that I want to send, and I'm like, okay, I can't send all of these, but I also don't want to make a 2-minute video every 5 weeks of what I'm sending off to CGC. One of the things that I'm excited to read is Out of Body. I haven't actually been able to read the first one yet, but the third one is out. So I'm excited to see where it's all going to go. And then I'll be doing a 3-issue review of it, just kind of going over what has been going on with it and kind of basically doing what I did with Geiger. Issue 5 of Geiger is out now, and I can't wait to see what happens from here.
I need to pick up my Geiger number 3, 4.
I absolutely love this comic, and I'm not a huge fan of independent books. I've never really liked anything but superheroes. When I go to pick stuff up that isn't superheroes, it's very rare. But Geiger has just been one of those books. Out of Body's been one of those books.
Mm-hmm.
We Live was one of those books. Just phenomenal covers, phenomenal writing. From what I've gotten into with Out of Body number 1, it's great to read. And I can't wait
Have you read Moth?
See where it goes. What is it?
Have you read Moth or Moth?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, that one I picked up. That was a cover by, slight description by, and it's really good. To be honest, like if you guys have a chance, you guys should check it out. It's an independent comic, but like if you want to like see some, like pick up something that you won't usually buy, I would definitely recommend it. Just like how you ended up liking Geiger, I think you would like Moths. It's either Moth or Moths.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
And his artwork inside and great story.
One of the other ones, and Mariko just came out. I'm not sure exactly where it is in the pile of books I need to read. But Demon Days by Peach Momoko.
Oh, I have that one.
This book was amazing. I loved what they did with Venom in it. I loved what they did just all around with this story. And I can't wait to read Mariko, or however you pronounce her name, and see where the storyline goes. They're only one-shots right now, so I am a little upset with that, but I'm hoping that Marvel kind of gives Peach more of the reins to dive into these characters a little bit more. Here it is.
Oh, it's Mariko.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that cover.
My wife's a huge anime fan, so when I told her Peach Momoko was going to be making a cover or making a book with Marvel, she was like, "Who the hell is Peach Momoko?" And I showed her a couple of covers that she had bought of hers, and she's like, "Oh, the one who does all the anime stuff. Why didn't you just say that?" I said, "Because we've talked about her before. I've mentioned her name like 5 million times." And she goes, "I don't remember names." I'm like, you sound like your mother right now.
Oh, I have like a whole stack of Peach Momoko, like a Peach Momoko lot. I got. Yeah. That's really
Borders,
cool.
you're not a Peach fan?
No, I'm not a big fan of her art.
I think it depends on what kind of peach you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't say I'm a huge fan.
What else you
But
guys
art is something that really drives my purchases.
Okay.
So if I don't like the cover, and that's deceptive a lot of time too, because there's so many, a book, we're going to have 20 covers, and none of the covers are done by who does the interior art. So you might have a killer cover, and then you flip to page 1, and it's like, what's this shit?
Yeah.
I think one of the cool things about Mariko Demon Days, I ordered it, and I also ordered one of the variants because I think it's one of the variants. Stan Sakai, the creator of Usagi Yojimbo. He's doing a variant cover. I think it's for the Mariko, and I saw that. Like, I just knew I had to get it. Like, Stan Sakai is another great artist that I really like.
Yeah. This cover isn't by Peach. It's actually by. This is
quickly
the
for comic
Campbell
Peach.
cover. This is the J. Scott Campbell one. Which, I mean, I'm a huge J. Scott Campbell fan.
Yeah, that's really nice artwork.
I've talked about this book many times on the channel. I am a huge fan of the way that he draws Black Cat and Mary Jane.
Yeah.
What can I say?
I mean, look at the Peach on Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I mean, as Spider-Man Peach, I mean, he's got it going.
That is America's ass.
Yes. Oh my god, I laughed so hard when I heard that in the theaters. That line killed me.
All right, guys, it's getting late. I know that I got to get up early and get some stuff done tomorrow. I'm sure. I know you're from Pennsylvania and Ohio, so we're definitely approaching that 11 o'clock midnight pretty soon.
Oh yeah.
Only 8:16
Alex
here,
is over there
under
in
40.
California. It's not even dark out yet, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, it's getting there. It's actually hazy. There's like 10 fires in California.
Oh, jeez.
And one of them is like the wind's blowing downwind, so.
I'd rather deal
Yeah.
with snow.
I'd rather deal with snow than fires.
I can't wait for the snow. I need to go skiing.
Oh, yeah?
How many times do you go in the winter?
I get to see them pass over to Seven Springs, so as many times as I can.
Awesome.
I bet you anything, Horde is probably like doing flips and stuff on the mountain. getting that air.
Yeah.
Looking like he's an Winter Olympian.
In my younger days, I used to. Now I just, my goal is to ski and not fall.
I wouldn't be surprised if Orders is a secret Winter Olympic champion.
More like Eddie the Eagle, if you remember him.
That was actually a good movie.
Yeah.
I saw that movie because I was bored. There's one thing on, and surprisingly, it was a really good movie. And it was so hard. It was so hard watching Hugh Jackman lose in a fight. Honestly, because it was like I always see, like I know how much Wolverine. I've seen other movies been in, but I think because I was on a Wolverine binge, and him losing in the fight.
That aspect.
It was so hard. Like it was just so weird seeing him like lose so quickly. Like then I remember I was like, wait,
yeah,
he's a different character.
Did you ever find yourself watching one show and then being like, wait, they can't do the stuff I just watched in that other show? That's not the same universe.
Yeah.
Same actor, different powers.
Same. I got myself like that.
Why doesn't Captain America just flame on and fly out of here?
Watch it. They would do that in the multiverse. They would bring a human. They'll be like, Captain? It's like, what? No, my name is Johnny.
Chris Evans actually wants to play another MCU character. I think it would be really cool if he went back to playing Johnny Storm.
That'd be funny. It took me a while to realize, wait, he was Human Torch because he was a little bit scrawny. He didn't have all that muscle back then.
Yep. Yeah, him. There was another actor that, Thanos was also the guy from Deadpool, Cable. I was like, wow, totally wouldn't even have recognized the voice at all. And I mean,
didn't they make a reference to that in Deadpool too?
Yeah, they did. Damn it, Thanos.
I hope that wasn't a spoiler quickly for comics.
No, if it's been out for more than a year, it's no longer a spoiler. It should just be pop culture knowledge.
It should be common knowledge at this point.
But thank you guys for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure lounging with all of you.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. It's always fun to talk.
Yes. Right.
So same time, same place next week, 10 p.m. I will see all of you then.
Yeah, nice meeting you, Kurt.
Yeah, you as well, Alex. Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you, Kurt.
Nice to meet you too. What's your first name?
Chris.
Chris?
Yep.
Nice to meet you. I'm Ryan.
Good to meet you.
Your first name. Yeah.
All right.
This was fun. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Every week. You're more than welcome to come on.
Awesome. Sounds good. All right, guys. Well, you take care. Have a good weekend.
You
Have
too.
a good one.
All right,
Bye.
see ya. Thank you.
See ya.